Hello, lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Advice with Nia, a segment of the Black and Abundant podcast where I, Nia Love Jackson, will be answering the questions that I get from my multiple DMs that I be getting on my IG, where y'all be telling me all the tea and I got to answer them. So, if you would like to ask me a question to potentially be featured on the episode next week, if I missed you this time, then go ahead and DM me on my Instagram at bynialove, or you can shoot me an email at bynialove@gmail.com. So, y'all, I'm going to be honest before we even dive into this. I could literally burst into tears or burst into flames right now because this is actually my second time recording this. I literally already sat down and recorded a 30-minute episode answering these questions. But then when I went to go look at it, apparently like my screen went dark on my laptop and it stopped recording. I could literally cry, but it's fine. Everything's fine. We're just gonna do it again. So, look at my beautiful husband. Hi, husband. I'm recording my episode. Because I freaking recorded it once and then my screen went black, so it stopped recording. I could cry. But please get your daughter. She making me mad. She keep crying over the little Yorkie over here. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the first question. Baby, do you have anything to say to the people? He said, keep being black and abundant if you did not hear him. All right. So let's dive into the first question. What am I going to name you? I need y'all to drop me some names because I'm terrible at coming up with names. Boy, let's call them, it's a man. Let's call him Michael. So Michael said, I've been seeing someone for just over a year. We have gotten to know each other and are in love. Early on in our relationship, I asked her many questions, and one of them was if she had ever been with a married man. She said no. Recently, she told me that she did in fact have an affair with a married man, that was the reason her marriage broke up. Wow. I understand that people make mistakes and that someone's past does not define them. I just wish that she wouldn't have lied about it. I respect honesty and growth. I love this person. It hurts that she lied and that she felt she couldn't be open with me. We've had many open conversations. Honesty is so important too, but I do understand that it could be hard to talk about something you're not proud of. What should I do? Michael, when I first read this, I was honestly taken aback because I was like, that's a hard one. Like my toxic lower self, my immediate first reaction was like, fuck her. That's a huge red flag. How can you just withhold the reason why your marriage ended? Like that's a pretty big thing to withhold. And because I went through those emotions just from reading it, I know that's how you felt. Like I know you feel completely betrayed right now. Like, how can you even go on to trust somebody when they withheld such very important information? And it's not necessarily because she did it. It's because it was withheld. And to me, I feel like if you cannot openly talk about your mistakes, especially to your partner, then that means that you haven't necessarily addressed them or that you haven't learned from them. Because this is just my personal opinion for me. And I'm sorry if I continuously lean over to shake my mouse to make sure that it doesn't go black. But to me, I personally feel like if you are not able to talk about your mistakes and talk about your past, and that means that you are not proud of it, meaning that you have not worked through it. That's what I meant. If you cannot talk about your past and you cannot talk about your mistakes, to me, that feels like it has not been fully addressed. Because y'all, I'm going to be honest. I've done some fucked up shit. I've cheated on people. I've lied. I've manipulated. I've done all of that. But if you ask me about it, I'll tell you. I'll freaking tell you. My husband knew all of it. I was never afraid to tell him these things because the thing about me is, even though that was the way that I was in the past, I'm actively working towards being a better person every single day. So how can I be ashamed of it? That's who I was, and that's who you've seen now that I am able to work through struggle and become someone better on the other side, right? I don't believe that people always stay the same. I believe that people can change, but only if they desire to change. So my question to you, Michael, because honestly, this is honestly up to you. I wish that I could give you a very clear decision, but there are certain aspects about your relationship that I don't know. Is this the first time that she lied? I don't know. Is there more things that she's withholding for you? Do you even know? How do you feel? Do you even feel like you can be safe with her? And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve a chance. She deserves a chance to show you that, hey, I'm changing. Hey, I'm working on it. Hey, I'm going to be more transparent with you. Hey, I'm not ashamed of where I've been because I'm recognizing that it's a part of my story and where I'm going. Is she actually working on herself? Like, is she actually trying to address those old wounds? Because to me, the ending of a marriage is a pretty big deal. Why did she have this affair? What was going on in her marriage? Does she take responsibility? Does she take accountability? How is she handling this? When she told you, did she victimize herself? Was it like, oh, I mean, basically, when she told you this, did she make it a big deal about the fact that she was sorry that she didn't tell you? Or did she accept accountability for what she did? That to me is a bigger indicator of who she is and where the potential of this relationship has to go, right? Did she take accountability? Does she understand her wrongdoings? And is she actively working towards being better? Is she being more transparent with you? Not just honest, not when you ask questions, but is she voluntarily giving you information? Does she want to talk through her previous marriage and her wrongdoings and her mistakes in her previous marriage with you so that you guys can work through them together so that you guys can have a healthy relationship moving forward? If it was just like yeah, I had an affair with a married man during my last marriage, and I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. And that's it. And y'all just don't talk about it anymore. And she doesn't seem to bring it up at all and isn't actively trying to work through it, because for her to withhold such information, like, that tells me that it has not been fully addressed. She got to go through a period of addressing it, but also she has to go through a period of regaining your trust. And the only way to regain your trust is to show up consistently and show that she's trying. So my question to you, Michael, is now that you know, now that she has told you, how has she been behaving? Because that is going to be a better indicator of the longevity of the relationship than this one blip that you guys had. Is it a blip or is it a trend? Is it a blip or is it a trend? I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. And I would love to know more. I'm gonna send this to you and see your thoughts, but I would start there. Look at her actions afterwards, okay? Now, I hope that answered your question fully. Thank you so much, Michael. Let's get to the second person. It's 333. Angel number's been going crazy. I don't know about with y'all, but every time I look at a clock, it seems to be an angel number. All right. I've been excited to answer this question because I'm going about it a different way than what it was asked, but y'all will see in a second. So the question is from Marcus. Marcus says, what are spontaneous sex ideas that have improved you and your partner's sex life that others can try? Need all the info on kinks, toys, etc. LMAO. All right, Marcus, I know that you want all the tea, and I'm going to give you all of the tea. But first, we got to get deep because you know me. I don't even like surface level questions. Not saying that it was a bad question, because I mean surface level questions have some type of substance to them, right? But I want to take it deeper because this brought a deeper question to my mind of why do you guys want to explore different things in the bedroom? Is it for experimentation or is it because you guys are bored? Now, uh, the reason why I bring this up is because I feel like this has been a topic in relationships where, or like especially marriages, long-term marriages, where they're like, how do you keep your sex life spicy? And I may have a controversial opinion, as I pretty much always do, but that's why you guys love me, because I make you think about things that maybe you didn't think about. But my question is, or my statement rather, is if you feel the need to spice up your sex life with your partner, I feel like you might be doing it wrong. And please don't, I mean, get mad at me if you want to. It's not my relationship. Take that up with your partner, right? But to me, if sex is boring between you and your partner, then I feel like you might be doing it for the wrong reasons. For my husband and I, like, sex is for not just for pleasure. Like, between in our marriage, yes, we do get pleasure out of having sex with each other, but we don't have sex purely for the sake of pleasure. We do it for connectedness. We do it for intimacy. We do it for the soul bond that we create every time we do it. It's a spiritual attachment. It's a spiritual experience every time my husband and I are in the bedroom. So if you feel like your sex life is boring, to me, I hear that if you say that your sex life is boring, to me, I hear that you're more focused on the pleasure than you are on the intimacy. Because even though my husband and I have been having sex for years, it's never been boring. It's never been boring. And that's because every time we have sex, there's purpose behind it. There's purpose behind it every single time that we have sex. We don't go in the bedroom just because we need to get one off. Like, we go in the bedroom because this is a moment of intimacy with our partner for us to be one. Okay? So, to me, if you feel like you have the need to spice up your sex life and in the bedroom, I beg you to ask if there is a deeper issue of intimacy here, or if you guys just want to do it for fun. Now, if you guys want to do it for fun, then we're here. We are on the same page, right? And I'm finna tell you the things that we've done for fun. Now, way back in September, this past September, I had a brand deal with this company called Aria. And I don't know if you guys listen to Shan Booty of the Lovers and Friends podcast. Shan Boodrum, she's absolutely amazing. My idol, I look up to her. But she is like I can't remember what her position is, but she has an executive position within this company, has to do heavily with the marketing side of things. But that's the reason why I reached out and why I wanted to do this brand deal. But with Aria, it's a monthly subscription. This isn't a promotion. I already got my money. The deal has already been closed. I'm just sharing it with you. But anyway, with Aria, they send a monthly subscription of different like toys and things for you and your partner. I actually think it was kind of cool. I liked it. But ultimately, my husband and I decided that we don't even need to spice things up in the bedroom. We're completely happy with the way that we've been doing it. Because again, like, it's not boring because we're more focused on the intimacy and the connectedness rather than the actual pleasure of things. However, it was kind of fun to throw in random things here and there to just experiment and do something different, because for the sake of just the experience, right? But anyway, when Aria sent us a box, it was a sensory play box. So it was playing on like heat and cold and those type of things. So they sent us a candle where you can burn it and drip wax on each other's body. I'm gonna be honest, I gave that like a 4 out of 10 because it hurt. It hurt like real bad. Like, it was burning. Okay. Like, you're supposed to hold the candle kind of far away. But like, even then, like, it got wax everywhere, like on the bed. And it was heavy cleanup and it hurt. So I give that one a 4 out of 10, but you may like that. You may like that. Like, everyone likes different things. Okay. So I definitely think you should try everything at least once. my husband and I said, we're pretty much open to trying anything once. Of course, there are certain things like I don't do butt play. I don't do butt play, and I don't do like pee pee and poo poo. Okay, I'm 12. Okay, so I'm gonna say it like that. Okay, but anyway, and of course, my husband is extremely, very, very, very straight as a board. So none of that stuff either. But outside of that realm of things, we're willing to experiment and try things, at least once. So you should try it, but it hurt. It hurt me. The second thing that came in there was a candle that you burn and it smells amazing. Like the scent just puts you in the mood, right? But after it's done, like you can blow it out and pour the candle wax on each other, and it's not as hot. This one's not as hot because it's a massage oil. So it's like warm and you can rub it in. It smells really good. Got that pheromone scent in it. It was beautiful. 10 out of 10. The massage candle was absolutely my favorite. The third thing was this I don't even know if I'm gonna say it once, but then I'm never gonna say it again. But it was a dildo that you can stick in the freezer. Like it was made of glass. And it had like grooves and stuff on it. But you could stick it in the freezer and it retains that temperature. So it's like really cold. So to contrast the heat from the candles and the wax, you have this cold glass wand. We're going to call it a glass wand now, that you can rub on each other, rub on your sensitive parts. Of course you can put it in, but for me, I went down with that. It was hard to me. I didn't, it wasn't cute to me. But she may like that. I don't know. Marcus, just try it out. But, anyway, it was cold, so we were able to like rub it on the sensitive parts of each other, like in between the thighs, like on the navel, across the chest, on the nipples, things like that, to help add that little cold flavor to it. I gave that one I give it an 8 out of 10 because it didn't necessarily have to look the way that it did. Like I would have been fine with just like a wand, like, but whatever. I didn't like the way that it looked, but at the same time, I love the idea of Coldplay. Coldplay. But anyway, I like the idea of Coldplay without using ice cubes, because ice cubes can melt and then get everywhere and all of that. So that was cute to me. I've always wanted to try, like, I mean, of course, like the general things like handcuffs, blindfolds, stuff like that. And I've always wanted to try a swing. I've seen them all over the internet and they just look so much fun. Like, even if you're not like doing the do, it just looked like fun to get in it and like just swing. But anyway, it looks like a lot of fun. And I think that's probably going to be like the next thing that we try. But yeah, I feel like I'm 12 years old, so I'm not necessarily the person to ask about these things. Oh, the last thing is, of course, if you guys have not used a vibrator in the bedroom, then you need to. You need to. Absolutely. Absolutely. 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10. Not just for, and I'm not even gonna sit here and give y'all a whole lesson. That is not what this is for. This is not what this is about. But just buy one and then play with it. Okay, I'm done. I'm done answering that question. Okay, please don't use this as an opportunity to bombard me with sex questions, because I am 12 years old at heart and I like to keep that thing between me and my husband, which is why I even stopped doing that brand deal and stopped accepting brand deals from like sexual brands, because I was like, this makes me uncomfortable. I don't even like this. We can keep this between me and my man. But anyway, I hope that answers your question, Marcus. Probably more than what you ever intended. I might have gotten way too deep and now you're like, damn. But you know what? That's what I'm here for. All right, last question. Question. What do I want to name her? Let's name her Casey. All right. What's up, Casey? She says, hi, I don't know if you do DMs, but I just saw your last video about how to get a man to lose trust in you. I had made that mistake, and pretty majorly so, last week. And hold on, y'all, I'm a little dyslexic and I'm trying hard to read this. I had made that mistake pretty majorly last week, and the guy I'm with says he doesn't trust me the way he used to, but doesn't want to give up on me. Do you have any advice on what I can do moving forward to grow as a person and to be a better partner for him? That's such a great question. What did I name her? Casey. That's such a great question, Casey. So, talking about the video that she's referencing, for those who haven't seen it, I made a video that said, um, here's how to get a man to lose all trust in you. And basically, it was talking about when a man is vulnerable with you, when he opens up to you, that is not the time to tear him down. Sorry. That is not the time to hold that against him or call him names, or use that against him, because a man, his ego makes it very hard to let his wall down sometimes, especially because Black men, for sure, have been taught that they cannot be emotional, that they have to put up this wall of protection, that they cannot cry, all of these things. So you have to be very careful when you are dealing with a Black man in particular, of making sure that he feels safe, especially when he is open and vulnerable with you, because if not, that wall could go right back up. And once a man's ego is at play, it's over with. It's over. You will never win against a man ego. I don't care how logical you are. I don't even care how right you are. If his ego is in play, ain't nothing you can say. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. So what I'm hearing from Casey here is that she made that mistake of taking advantage of him in a vulnerable moment. Of course, I don't know the details. I only know what I read to you guys. So it seems like she made that mistake of mishandling his vulnerability. And she wants to know how she can do better the next time and regain that trust. Well, first of all, I'm glad at you for acknowledging that now this is a problem, because he's lost, if not all trust, a little bit of trust in you. He no longer feels safe with you, or that he can't be vulnerable with you. And my first thing to say is, one, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. The reason why you reacted in the way that you did probably has to do with the way you are used to relationships being played out, or has to do with some type of trauma, or the way that you were taught conflict resolution, or the way that you were or were not taught emotional control. So give yourself some grace. Like, there were times in the beginning of me and my husband's relationship where we were the same way. Like, we would go at it, boy. Like, we had some really toxic conflict, okay, that we would take out on each other, and it did create like a divide in safety with each other sometimes. However, we are committed and we are married, so we always said that even though I feel hurt, I feel attacked, and I don't necessarily feel safe right now, I'm not turning my back on you, and we're going to continue to see this through, and we're going to figure it out together regardless. There is no plan B. There is no getting a divorce. We're going to figure it out. So that was just a little side tip of, I hope that you guys are on the same page and that y'all are both willing to work it out, because this is not going to work if both parties are not completely open and willing to getting this to work. Okay. So going back to the first point of give yourself some grace. You don't know better because you likely have not been taught better. You likely have not done the work to be better because maybe you weren't even aware until now. But I'm proud of you for recognizing your mistakes and being aware and realizing that and accepting that you need to grow in certain areas. That is a great place to start, but try not to be too hard on yourself. Okay. A lot of us weren't taught these things. My parent, like y'all growing up, my parents were toxic. Like, I mean, calling the police on each other, yelling at the top of their lungs, holes in the walls. Like, it was a lot. So how can you go from a situation like that to just knowing everything and having everything figured out? Life doesn't work that way. So anyway, number one, give yourself grace. Number two, doing the work. So what does the work look like? So the work looks like, one, you see this, that you need to gain emotional control and learn how to better communicate. So I have two resources for you. One, my husband and I, actually, I'll make that the second one. One, my first resource is I have a masterclass called How to Control Your Fucking Emotions. And it literally teaches you the fundamentals of how to recognize what you're feeling in the moment, how to regulate yourself in the moment, how to recognize if this is coming from a past trauma or the present moment, so that you can better discern how to handle the conversation with your partner. Because first you have to know and be aware of where these emotions are coming from, why you're responding in the way that you're responding. and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling and what your emotions are trying to tell you. And if you cannot get past that part, then you cannot have a stable conversation or an effective conversation with your partner. That is literally the number one requirement, because when you guys make each other mad, the first thing that happens is both of you feel some type of emotion. And usually it's some type of negative emotion, and usually it's conflicting because the other person disagrees with you or has a different perspective from you. And it's hard to see that other perspective, or hard to see that other person and what they're going through, because you're trying to go through your own internal things. So you guys cannot get on the same page until you get to a place where you work through what you're feeling first. Okay. So the way to do that is to recognize what you are feeling, learn how to regulate your emotions in real time, which is something that I teach you in the masterclass, and be able to discern what they are really trying to tell you, what you're really feeling, where is this really coming from. So then you can effectively communicate with your partner, and then together decide what's best for both of you moving forward. But again, you cannot do that if you don't have emotional control. So get my masterclass, How to Control Your Fucking Emotions. It's 50% off right now. So get the deal while it's hot, right? But you can go to nialovecoach.com/emotions. The link is in the bio. The second resource that I have for you is actually an episode of Black and Abundant. It was an episode we shot a few weeks ago, episode 35, I believe. I think it's called How to Argue. Handling conflict in relationships. That's what it is. How to argue, handling conflict in relationships, on the Black and Abundant podcast, episode 35. But the reason why I'm pointing you in the direction of this podcast episode is because in this episode, my husband and I, we dive deep into how, like, step by step, how we go about handling conflict in a relationship. But again, it starts with the emotional control piece. But then after you get through the part of controlling your emotions, now on the back end, it's communicating your partner and making sure that they feel seen, heard, respected, and understood, right? So I really encourage you to go watch that episode, because we're able to break it down, and like, that was literally the topic of the episode. I don't want to spend another 30-40 minutes trying to break it down for you right now. But the point is that number 2, you have to do the work. And y'all, like, the work is doing your research, opening your mind up to different perspectives and the different ways that people go about doing things. Like, y'all, I know that I tend to have a very controversial opinion, and that is okay. That's who I am. That's why y'all love me. But the reason why I like to have these controversial conversations is because I want to open up y'all's mind to a different perspective than what you're used to seeing. Because the thing about me and Jamal's relationship is, again, not just in the bedroom, we will try anything once. So for example, our mentor, back in September, he mentioned that he is the sole provider for him and his family. So his wife doesn't have to work. And even though she does make money doing what she does, doing what she loves, she's not responsible for taking care of the family or providing or anything like that. So at the time, my husband and I weren't doing this, but we decided to, because even though we were taught differently, like, and I was okay with going 50-50. I was okay with one of us, like, whoever needs to take care of whoever at whatever time. I was okay with that. But it wasn't until I was exposed to a different idea, a different way of thinking, as controversial as it may have been at the time, and as confusing or as difficult as it may have been at the time, us opening our minds to trying something different in our relationship is what led us to where we are today. And we love it, both of us, not just me. Like, both of us love the fact that my husband is now the sole provider, but we would have never figured that out if we didn't open our minds up to something different. So I say that to say, doing the work looks like doing your research and listening to how other people are going about it in their relationship and seeing what resonates with you. Like, I used to watch all types of podcasts, go to seminars, read books, listen to videos and things like that. So the information is out there. Just continue to be hungry for it. Continue to be hungry for it. Continue to want to be a better woman, because as long as that desire is within you, then the information and the wisdom will come towards you. You will attract it, right? So Number one was what's the word? Damn. Not gentle. Give yourself grace. Number one was give yourself grace. And number two was do the work. And number three is be patient. Be patient. Y'all, trust is given, distrust is earned, right? But once that distrust is earned, gaining that trust back is a slow process. Jamal and I have had to go through periods where we lost each other's trust and had to earn it back. Like that's normal. That's a thing. I'm not saying that, every couple, what I'm trying to say is don't beat yourself up. Sometimes couples go through this and that is okay. But as long as you guys are committed to figuring it out, it will get better. But you have to be patient. Do not expect for him to get over this in a month or a week or a day or even 2 months or even a year. Like, yes, the goal is for him to. And if he's just not budging at all and he's not even trying anymore, then that's a different conversation, right? But if he's trying, it's just he's having a hard time healing from this and letting his wall down, be patient with him. The name of the game of rebuilding trust is consistency. The name of the game of building trust is consistency. The only way to build trust is to consistently show your partner that you can show up as the person that they need you to be. So I know that you're not going to get it perfect every time. I don't even remember what I named you. Was it Casey or was that somebody else? Okay, maybe you're Casey. But anyway, Casey, I'm not saying that you're going to get it right on the first time or the next time that you do it. You're still in the learning process. You don't just flip a switch and then all of a sudden you're the best communicator. You're the best emotionally intelligent person out there. It doesn't work that way. It is a slow process. So both of you have to be patient with each other. But the goal is to do it 1% better every single time. My husband and I, we were not taught how to handle conflict in relationships. We were not taught how to control our emotions. We just knew that this was something that we wanted to learn and that we were willing to go through the trial and error of learning it together because we are committed to each other. So every single time we didn't aim to do it perfect. Every time we had conflict, we didn't aim to handle it perfectly. We aimed to handle it better than the last time. And if you can do that, that shows both of you that, hey, this is consistent effort. This is consistent effort. If you show that consistent effort over a long period of time, that trust will be built back. That trust will be built back. But both of you have to be patient and be willing to try. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, Casey. Good luck to you and your boyfriend, husband, fiance. I don't know what he is. I completely forgot. But it just says the guy. Okay. But anyway, Casey, I really hope that answers your question. If you have any follow-up, just let me know. But guys, that concludes the second episode of Advice with Nia. Thank you guys so much. It does not go unnoticed that you are trusting my judgment, my opinion, and my wisdom. I really, really, really appreciate that you guys trust me with this. And I promise that I will do my best to continue to provide value at the end of the day, because I just want all of you guys to have happy, healthy relationships. I'm in love and I love my marriage. I love my husband. And I just want to see more healthy, happy Black family units. That is literally my purpose and my mission in life. So I'm not doing any of this to be egotistical or spread a negative mindset about anything. I'm just sharing information and hoping that you guys are willing to expand your minds to at least think about it. Okay? You don't have to agree with me, but I at least want you to think about it. But anyway, if you have any questions, again, DM me on Instagram at bynialove, or you can shoot me an email at bynialove@gmail.com. But until next time, I love you guys so much. See you later.